So today we're going to be going over expressions. Now, simplifying expressions really is just following the order of operations PEMDAS. We do realize that there are a couple different abbreviations that you might use if you're from a different area, but the one that we're going to be using today is going to be PEMDAS, which stands for P is parentheses. Generally, you're going to look and see a couple of these symbols going on right here. Let's actually get a little closer. Followed by E for exponents. You're either going to see an exponent raised to a power, or another version of an exponent is we're going to see a root symbol. We won't see these for a while, but they will show up. The next is multiplication and division. You're going to either see a dot or a division sign. You might even see a set of parentheses or a fraction. These are both multiplication and division. Typically, we're going to go left to right within the expression. You can find that we don't always need to follow this directly, but we are going to for this particular case. And then the last is the AS, which is addition and subtraction. Again, we're going to follow the left to right rule. You'll learn that there are exceptions to each one of these. You can kind of do some of them out of order depending on the situation. But a general rule of thumb is go left to right, follow this directly, and you'll never find yourself in the wrong area. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. We're going to simplify this expression. So we have a -7 parentheses -8 plus r plus 2r. Well, working through this, my order of operations says parentheses. I'm going to go inside the set of parentheses and see what I can do. Well, inside the set of parentheses, I have a -8 plus r. I can't do anything. Those aren't like terms. That doesn't have a variable. This does have a variable. I can't add these together. So I'm going to ignore that and move on. So parentheses, exponents, I don't see any of them. Multiplication and division. Lo and behold, I do see one, and let's do this in red. We know that parentheses imply a multiplication upon anything on the outside of the parentheses because there's an implied dot right here. If I don't see a symbol between two things, I'm assuming that is multiplication. Kind of like I don't see a symbol between this 2 and this r. So over here, I have another multiplication. I can't do anything with that, but I can do something with this. So this multiplication division just means that I have a distribution that I need to do. So I'm going to distribute this -7 to everything inside the parentheses because I'm multiplying it from here to here. So each one of these terms gets multiplied by a -7. And let's see what we get. So -7 times 8 is 56. -7 times r is -7r plus 2r. Perfect. So I'm going to look through that. No parentheses, no exponents. In this case, the only instances of multiplication that I do see are between a variable and its constant or its coefficient. So I can't really simplify those two pieces. But what I can do is I can do addition and subtraction. So actually, let me do this in a different color. So my addition and subtraction, I have a -7r and a positive 2r that I can combine. The 56, I can't do anything with it because that is a constant with no other constants to combine with. So -7 plus 2 is going to give me a -5r. Boom. And there we go. Let's take a look at the next one. What I've got going on right here is I have 2 parentheses 4 minus t plus 7 parentheses 1 minus 3t. Okay? So if I start off in the parentheses, I don't have anything I can do. 4 minus t, 1 minus 3t, nothing that I can do between these two. But what I do notice is that 2 and that 7 are both up against the set of parentheses, which means that 2 is multiplied times everything inside here. 2 is multiplied by everything inside here, as with the 7 is multiplied times both of those terms. So 2 times 4 is going to give me an 8. 2 times -t is going to give me a -2t. 7 times 1, and then 7 times -3. Perfect. Okay. That leaves me with the next step. The next step is combination of terms, or addition and subtraction. So I multiplied. Now I'm going to do the addition and subtraction. I notice that my t terms and my constants both can be combined with another term. So my 8 and my 7 are both constants, and my negative 2t and my negative 21t. I'm going to combine my t terms first, which is going to give me a negative 23t. My 8 and my 7 are going to give me a 15. There we go. Perfect. So now that we've seen a few, why don't you go ahead and pause the video, unpause what you've done, and see how you did in number 5. Give number 5 a shot on your own. Okay. So now that you've seen number 5, let's go through the list. I have nothing I can do in the parentheses. I have no exponents, but I do have what looks like some multiplications going on over here. I also have some multiplication between this negative 8 and the x, but again, I can't simplify that too much. But the 7x can be distributed. Again, we distribute it to everything inside the parentheses because it's right up against this, which is going to leave me with 7x times negative 8x is going to leave me with 7 times negative 8, which is going to be negative 56. Yeah, so negative 56. X times x is going to leave me with an x squared. When I multiply a variable times itself, I increase the power every time. And because I have an x to the 1 and x to the 1, that leaves me with an x to the 2. Multiply 7x times negative 2, and I'm left with negative 14x. And then I leave behind this 5x. Perfect. Now that I've done the multiplication and division step, I notice I have a single x squared, but I do have some x terms that I can combine. I can't combine them with that right there because, again, that is a squared term. Like terms have to have the same variable, x's, but also the same powers, squared, which means that's a different term which cannot be combined with these two. So negative 56x squared minus 14 plus 5 is going to leave me with a minus 9x. Perfect. Okay. Lastly, I have number 7. So again, number 7, go ahead and pause the video, unpause what we've done, and see how well you did. Perfect. So we notice that again we have variables outside parentheses, which means they get multiplied times everything inside them. So I've got 2 things to be distributed this round. W times W, which is going to be W squared. The negative sign is going to carry through. W times 5 is going to be 5W. Negative times negative is going to be a positive. Over here, 12 times 7 is going to be, let's see, 70, 84. I have a single W. Positive times positive is a positive. Lastly, 12 times 1 is 12. Positive times negative is negative. W times W is W squared. Perfect. Now I'm going to combine all of my squared terms, and then I'm going to combine all of my non-squared terms together, which means the negative W squared and the negative 12W squared are going to combine into negative 13W squared because we know that there is an implied number 1 outside here. And the 5 and the 84 are going to combine into 89W. Perfect. And there we go.